What's up, everyone? Monday Night Football. This is the Showdown breakdown, but actually, it's what I like to call the prime time breakdown. My favorite kind of a slate, right? Prime time, two-gamer. We've studied the shit out of this style. Where is Bobbywow? I don't know. So I'm leaving a spot open for him right down there. He'll show up or not. He might have been sucked into the metaverse. Don't know. We'll see. But I'm not holding this up. We've got a game tonight, and I've already dived pretty deep into tonight's two-gamer. Of course, before we do that, though, we gotta send a shout out to High Top Fade. Look at that beautiful Dom Station run, 20K in the flea flicker. Not a bad result. Also, if you want to congratulate your boy, I had a pretty good day at the office on Sunday here, turning $2,000 into $8,300. Congratulations to all of the VIP DFS Army members who endured a 3-hour players club. You endured it. You guys took the fucking pain. 3 hours with the Geek on Saturday. We built a bunch of these super booster lineups and made a ton of money together. So again, congrats to everybody who toughed it out for the full 3-hour players club this week. I promise I won't do that again. It'll be 2 hours or no more than that. I just had so much to say about the slate. Obviously, the Goff stacks worked out really well. And we discovered this little crazy contest here called the Pocket Cup Mini. And I got a couple of entries for it for almost no money. That's one of the beautiful things. If you're a DFS Army subscriber, if you have access to the Domination Station, you can attack this little Pocket Mini Cup. I put in $37 in this one, won $1,000 back. But this one down here, you can't even see it in the screenshot. Oh, yeah, here's the other one. $20 total, another $1,000. And I had another one where I did $1.50 in there and won $1,000. So you can actually mass multi-enter in this Pocket Max contest thingy that they have going on DraftKings. And a lot of you guys did. I know Uppers Lad won a couple of tickets as well. And that's to not a live, but a final. Apparently, what it is a showdown for the Super Bowl. Everybody who wins a ticket is in this big showdown for a large amount of money for the Super Bowl. So we're going to get a whole bunch of those. And again, it was an elite. It was a long one, Mo Fowl. I appreciate you hanging out with me for the full time. And this has been 2 weeks in a row that we have absolutely been smashing. It doesn't always happen like this, but we're going to try to keep it going for Monday Night Football. Now, maybe Bobbywow will show up and he'll drop his gems. That's what I'm hoping. But in the meantime, I have done the research. I don't bring you here for nothing. So let's get into it. What we're going to do is we're going to look at this because there's also a showdown. So the way I want to look at this is I want to sort of go game by game, and then we'll get into the whole two-game slate concept. And the best way I think to do game by game is really just to study these teams and take a look at what the usage was in week one so we could try to get some ideas. I'm going to tell you right off the bat that ownership on a two-game slate is the king of all kings. And by the way, ownership and our off-season discovery that going lower on the ownership totals in giant contests. We're 2 weeks into the season. We had a Millie Maker winner. We had another guy put 149 lineups in the top in the money, including 10 in the top 100 in the Millie Maker using the Domination Station. That's 2, right? We had me, Uppers Lad, and I think 5 other people mass multi-enter using the same technique and win tickets. I won $1,000 off a 1 penny entry. That is a crazy ROI. What are we doing? We've effectively figured out that using the Domination Station Optimizer and being very aggressive with our ownership caps is yielding much better results than what we've done in past years. So I love that we studied in the offseason. We made a little adjustment, and it is paying off in dividends. I fucking knew it would, but it's great to see it happening. You never know. You never know for sure. You think the math makes sense, but we're seeing it paying off. We're going to do it again tonight. We're going to deal with lower owned approaches. But first, let's get into these games. So the 2 games for tonight, we got the Bucs at Houston. Houston known for having a very good defense. Therefore, this game carrying a slightly lower total at 42.5. The second game, this will be the one that produces more chalk. Chargers at the Raiders. The Raiders are 21.5, have a team total 21.5 above the team total of the Bucs, which is crazy. Code Red. What's going on, Coach? Why are they dissing your Bucs? Why are they dissing them? It's not cool. And then 20-point team total seems too low. 20-point team total seems too low. That being said, the chalky game will be the second one, 46.5-point total, and with the Chargers and Herbert being sort of the chalk offense on this slate. So let's take a look at, I'm very curious about some usage things here. We're definitely going to be breaking it all down, Jose. We got it all. Give me time. I did 3 hours to make 9 lineups yesterday in the Players Club. Like, I might be moving slow, but we're not going to do 3 hours today. We're going to try to get through this. That's why I started it early at noon. That's probably what messed up Bobbywow. He's still sleeping. I changed the time from 5 to noon. Bobbywow still sleeping. He don't even wake up yet. Maybe. I don't know. Not worried about it. All right. So back to this. So what we want to do is look at the usage. I'm very curious here on Houston. Who's the wide receiver 2? Who's the wide receiver 3? So we're going to get that figured out and see if any of these players are at all of interest this week. So Nick Chubb, here we go. Week 1, he got 50% of the carries, or 50% of the snaps, but effectively all of the carries, or most of the 92% of the rushes, right? So Chubb is in there. He's effectively getting all of the work as a running back, and then they're bringing in Dare Ogunbowale as the third down back, and he's getting some of like the targets and that kind of thing. Yeah, don't sleep in Dare. So this is a turd worth using. Christopher Q, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just going to address this. It was not hard to make sensible lineups, low ownership in the afternoon, because Bo Nix was unowned. So you just had to pivot to Bo Nix or Daniel Jones in that game. No one wanted it. That was the play. It was Bo Nix. So back to it here. Dare Ogunbowale, a live turd. And then Nick Chubb, we can't fully ignore, as much as I don't like Nick Chubb, and he bores the shit out of me, we cannot ignore Nick Chubb on this particular slate. He's very cheap at $5K, and he's getting all the carries. So he's getting all of the rushing work. He will need a touchdown in order to pay off on his $5K salary. He's probably good for 60 yards and a touchdown, get us in the promised land. If he doesn't get the touchdown, it's going to be a disaster. So be careful with Nick Chubb, for sure. Let's take a look at the wide receiver group for the Texans and see what the usage looked like in week 1. So it looks like here, and this is what I'm trying to figure out. All right. It's weird. It's weird, guys. There's a lot of turds here. So Nico Collins, obviously, 84% snap count. He was the man. He's on the field the whole day, all day. Then, and this is where it gets weird, Jaden Higgins, 42%. Xavier Hutchinson, who the fuck is that guy? He's at 70% snap count. So it looks like Xavier Hutchinson is getting the second most snaps. Justin Watson, I remember Justin Watson. He's that dude who used to be on the Chiefs, who would just be he'd be on the field all the time, but never catch a pass. More of a blocker, really. But, they'll throw to him once in a while. And then, of course, Jaden Higgins, the rookie, he had an encouraging 18% target share. So that's encouraging to me. And we're going to pay attention. Actually, wait, I took my glasses off just now to wash them. And no, it's not 18. It was 11%. But nonetheless, I kind of think maybe Jaden Higgins might be like that second guy. These turds we'll have to pay a little bit of attention to, more so on DraftKings than FanDuel, but we'll have to pay a little attention to those turds. Let's see. At tight end, there's not a whole lot going on here. It looks like Dalton Schultz is getting pretty much all the tight end snaps. So there you go. Scrolling over to Tampa. Let's take a look at some of the usages for the Tampa players from last week. All right, Baker Mayfield, obviously. So Bucky Irving, 75-25, with Sean Tucker kind of rolled in there for a play or two, but primarily it was Bucky and then Rashad White kind of at the 25% level. Rashad did get a carry or two, did get a target or two, but this was the Bucky Irving show last week. And weirdly, so we're going right back to it here, right? Bucky Irving, RB1, not the best matchup, obviously, because Houston defense is good, but RB1. Cade Otton remains the only real tight end of note. I don't think we need to worry about these tight end turds, certainly not in a 2-game slate. Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka. Look at Egbuka, man. He's so good. And I didn't even realize Evans got more targets in week 1, but there it is. So I'll check those numbers, make sure those are accurate. But Egbuka. And then the third guy, and this guy is relevant on this slate at 3,100, is Sterling Shepard, who did get a bunch of targets last week and looks to be operating as the WR3 for the Bucs. So guys, mental note, Sterling Shepard, somehow, as old as he is, the veteran, over 30-year-old guy, involved. That's just a mental note. We're going to plant it in here, plant the seed as we're making lineups for later. Ivan likes Cade Stover. What team is that guy even on? Where do you see a Cade Stover? Is that on? Oh, maybe it's on the other one of these other teams. Whoa. Who will have Stingley on them? FYI, they're trying to get Tez Johnson more. Tez Johnson, where's that? Okay, so we got a Tez Johnson here. They're trying to get him more touches. This was a guy, super turd, 13% snap count. 13%. So, and now somebody's saying somebody's out. Is Shep out? I don't know. We'll find out. So that pretty much does it for this game and the turds involved, right? So Emeka Egbuka, stud. Mike Evans, we know that. Cade Otton. And then Sterling Shepard and Tez Johnson, kind of like turds for the Bucs. All right, fine. And then on the Houston side, again, mental note, looks like it was Xavier Hutchinson getting the extra snaps. Jaden Higgins, though, is a rookie, and so I will caution that a rookie each week could potentially be elevated. So I could see Jaden Higgins with Christian Kirk out. I could see maybe Jaden Higgins getting a little more. I was looking for Jalen Noel as well. He's a little even turdlier here at 3,300, only 29% or 26% snap count. So, and the one I like the least is the guy who got snaps, Justin Watson, because I really think Justin Watson is just garbaggio. So I'm not super excited about him, but you never know. No, it's minimal, guys. These are like the turtliest of turds. Somebody asked me the other day, like, how do you determine like a milli maker or something else to line up? Like, never had, like, these kind of guys would not be in like a normal lineup for me. Only a milli maker, and never two. Never two. Only one. All right, let's shift gear to the second game. Now, again, we got a couple of showdowns, but the main showdown that actually even matters to me, hell yeah, it's a fucking Gators. Let's go, chomp. Chomp. How'd you see it? How could you even see it? I didn't know if it was showing in my camera. That's wild. Yes, hell yeah. Gators did not go very well this weekend. All right, so let's take a look at the second game, right? This is the better one, maybe. And the usage I'm curious with here, I'm curious about the running back usage on both teams, but especially on the Chargers. And I'm curious about the wide receiver usage on the Raiders, right? Who's that WR2? Who's that WR3? Where are we going with this? We already know we like Jacoby Myers. Oh, there's Bobbywow. Look at that. Look who decided to show up halfway through. Rant about
hey.
You missed my rant about I don't even know what I was ranting on about, but I was just going on. We did the Bobbywow. I already did the matchups for the first game.
Yep.
Sterling Shepard, a couple little things there.
Not a Noel fan, understandable.
No, I don't hate him, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm putting a lineup in a 20-person $500 entry tournament, that's not the name I'm clicking on.
Agreed.
Yeah. Where were we?
You were diving in. I think you're about to talk about the Brock Bowers usage. Is that right?
Not Brock, but yes, the whole usage of the Raiders team. So I'm more interested in the wide receivers, right? Who's the wide receiver too? I heard Jack Betch got a reception. So I was like, oh, maybe Betch. Nope, he was only in there for that one play. Snap.
It's an ugly situation.
So
it really is.
Well, I mean, it's actually very clear here. Let's look. Let's see what's going on. Brock Bowers gets hurt. Michael Mayer comes in. Be aware. I don't know if Brock Bowers could get hurt here. Michael Mayer could come in. Brock Bowers is the most important piece on the 2-game slate, Bobbywow.
He is. And he got hurt last week. And so I think that's kind of like the question that I've been wrestling with is, how much will they allow Brock Bowers to be out there for? Is he going to play a full complement of snaps? Pete Carroll seems to say yes, but as we've known for a long time now, we can't trust Pete Carroll with anything.
Pete Carroll's, there's a guy out there, he's called the Coach Speak Index, and he measures things that coaches say versus what they do, right? Which, how we intrinsically are like, Pete Carroll's a liar, but we don't have like the data to back it up.
Yep.
This guy has the data, and Pete Carroll is he's one of the least reliable. His reliability rating, I believe, was 70%, which might sound like it's good, but that's like it's almost the lowest of any coach in the NFL. Like normally they're at 85, 90%. Like the Lions coach is at like a 97%. Like this guy don't ever fib. Pete Carroll's on the bottom end of that range.
And people are they're saying he's going to play. Yeah, I think he's going to play. He's going to be active here. It's just a question of, how much is he going to be out there for 80-90% of the snaps? I would tend to think not, but again,
my lean is yes, Bobbywow, but
you think he'll be out there the full complement?
I'm an optimistic person.
I think where I landed was, even if not, it's such an ugly situation at tight end this slate. I don't know that it matters all that much. Even if he does play, 50% of the snaps or 60, I think he's still clearly the best option.
He might be the best option at 6K on the slate, or he's up there with the wide receivers who are priced the same. And that's the problem. So guys, as we get into the entirety of the slate, the only question that you need to ask yourself is, the first question is Brock Bowers in this lineup or is he not? Every single lineup you build, that's the first thing you got to figure out. Are we going Bowers? Or are we going like with the stud wide receivers? When you play Bowers in a lineup, Bobby, I've already built lineups for this. I was like working all night. And when you put Bowers in there, you're pretty much not using Nico or Ladd, or you can, but you can only really get one of those kind of guys.
Here's the third question though. Is a double tight end with Michael Mayers himself too silly for the Millie?
I don't know that you can get too silly for the Millie, so I'm going to say no, it's not.
Okay.
It might be, it's almost too stupid for words, but it's almost too silly for the Millie, but I don't think I'm going to do it.
Fair enough.
Although, like I said, somebody in the chat just mentioned they're throwing the shit out of the ball to the tight ends in general. So there is a version of this game playing out where it just kind of plays out the way last week's did. And in that scenario, yeah, Michael Mayer might be the nuts backup. Michael Mayer it's not out of the realm of reason that Michael Mayer on the slate, even if Bowers plays a 3/4 healthy game, is the nuts $3,300 guy that belonged in your flex, right?
Sure.
Who are you fighting with at 3,300? Sterling Shepard, Jalen Noel, and a couple other names like that. And even a crappy backup tight end that gets 3 receptions for 36 yards might be the nuts $3,100 guy.
We've seen crazier things for sure.
Yeah. So much more to go over, though, because this Chargers wide receiver room is really interesting. But let's get a look at the wide receiver room for the Raiders here. And, of course, Jacoby Myers resumes where he left off as a volume machine, 30% dominant WR1 in the body of a guy who we all think of as kind of like a WR2 or 3. Yeah. But yet here we are. Right? Yep. So what a great career. Jacoby Myers has just elevated throughout his career. This was a guy that was just like a 6th round pick for the Patriots, an afterthought. And look at him now, the WR1 for his team at like age 29. How fun is that?
The best wide receiver the Patriots have had in a long time.
Yeah, or the Raiders. So
well, I know that. I was just joking. I hate
Hank
the Patriots
Ruggs.
wide receiver room.
Hank Ruggs was good. He was for a second. Henry Ruggs.
Did he even play in the regular season game?
Yeah, no, he was real fast. He was a fast guy.
Oh, geez. Okay.
He had the speed.
Oh,
sorry.
Man.
Sorry. All right, Dad. I'll go away. Jacoby Myers, 60% for Deontay Thornton, and then 90% snaps for Trey Tucker. So, I mean, this is a lot more on the field than I thought Trey Tucker was. This is a real guy. We have to pay attention to Trey Tucker.
He's a real guy, and he's done it before. He's gotten it done. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. And Dante Thornton, even a higher target share than Tucker. So Dante Thornton, Trey Tucker, both real options on the slate. Jack Besh, who got a reception last week, and I was like, Jack Besh. And I heard the name, and I remembered, like, holy shit, I can't believe the announcer just said the name Jack Besh. I thought that guy was a turd. I thought he wasn't going to play. And then it turned out, yeah, he is a turd, and he doesn't play. And ignore. So we're going to ignore that. Now let's slide over to the Chargers side of things. And the first thing I wanted to look at, Bobbywow, is Omarion Hampton relative to Najee Harris. And it is not close.
It was not close last week. No.
Yeah. It was not close. Hampton got the vast majority of the carries. Weirdly, they brought in Hassan Haskins for a couple of carries. I don't know what the fuck that's about. But Omarion Hampton got the vast majority of the carries, the vast majority of the work. Omarion Hampton. Now, that, although we can only take, I don't know how much to take away from it, because Najee had not practiced with the team. He blew his eyes out with some fireworks. He's just getting back to himself. I don't know if he works his way into a larger role this week. But as far as matchup goes, running back versus the Raiders is a pretty good matchup.
It's really tough because, you know, if it was the other way around, right? If you had a rookie running back working his way into the lineup, that's a storyline that I could kind of get on board with. I understand this notion that maybe they want to get Najee worked in a little bit more, and maybe we do see a little bit more Najee, but it's hard to imagine like a significant boost in snap percentage or you know, more importantly, rush percentage for Najee this week. So I don't know. Are you kind of in the same boat? Like I don't know that we're going to see a massive jump by any means.
I think we will see a jump, but it could jump to like 28, 30% where they want to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think it's going to go where they wanted it to be. I told you from the beginning, you don't draft a running back in round one, unless you're the Patriots. You don't draft a running back in round one. Actually, it wasn't a round one. The Patriots got that guy in like round two. So actually, Correct. That's not a proper example. But what I was saying, you don't play him. You don't take a guy in round one as a running back to be like, let's let him sit and watch. No, he's a fresh, young-legged running back. Put him on the field. Let him do his thing.
Yep.
Put him on the field. And the wide receivers. So the wide receivers for the Chargers are very interesting. But the most weird is the tight end. And guys, this is not going to clear it up. Bobbywow, Conklin 43%, Disley 56%. It looks like they targeted Conklin more as a pass catcher.
And I think that's real. I think that's how things kind of play out. Tico is kind of the better pass catcher, at least to me. Disley more of the blocker. That's how it played out last week.
Let's play. All right. So this is, if I could zoom the camera in, I would here and just tell everybody, we need to be paying very close attention to these tight ends. Again, tight end in the flex. I don't know if it's going to happen on this slate, but has a win rate well over 30% in 2-game slates. It's somewhere in the 40% range. Like, it is a number so high that it's going to kick you in the balls and make you throw up. That's how high. You're like, what? Like that. You can speak with a high voice. What? Like that. After you find out. Because that's what I did. I was like, what? Tight end and flex. I don't know. It's years of this. I don't know if it's going to happen this late, but there's a mathematical reason that does happen that I've discovered over the years. But so we have to pay attention to these guys. What if Conklin is the nuts flex play? Would that blow your mind, Bobbywow?
It would not blow my mind.
I mean,
it would not blow my mind.
I'd be a little surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it's Tyler Conklin, but
yeah, you'd have to outscore Trey Tucker. Think about all these 3K guys, and then like that tight end, and that's how they make it. So Tyler Conklin, Will Dissly, kind of gross.
And it could be either of those two guys, right?
Yeah,
it could be Dissly too. Like, yeah, but
live for a touchdown. Now here's where it gets interesting. McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen, they worked in Trey Harris just a smidge, a little Darius Davis, just a little bit. Not something we have to worry about probably on a 2-game slate. Maybe a showdown turd that we might want to kind of keep our eyes on. That's where Trey Harris, Darius Davis, those kind of guys come in play more in the showdown for me. That's not where I'm going on the 2-gamer.
Correct. Yeah, I'm with you. My big question is Quentin Johnson for real or not?
Oh, man, I think he's for real, but at the same time, untrustworthy as anybody. So they jacked up the price. There have been, Bobbywow, enough good games out of Quentin Johnson. And no one's a bigger hater. You will not find a bigger
I know. That's why I'm asking you. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. There's no bigger hater from Quentin Johnston than me. Guy fucking can't catch a pass, and that pisses me off when you make it to the NFL level. I don't like it. But we can't deny that his target count last week was effectively the same as McConkey. Keenan Allen, also a massive, the comfort with Herbert still there. Keenan Allen, it's like he never left. Keep that in mind too. Keenan Allen at 4,800 is a great play. It's like he never left. The comfort is right there. I think he's eating from McConkey a little bit.
Interesting.
I actually don't think he's eating from Quentin Johnston. Let me explain what I mean. McConkey was in that, like, this guy can run a route, and whenever I look his way, he's open. He's in that role for Herbert. Yep. But Keenan does that too. You understand? Where Quentin Johnston is like, oh shit, he's open deep. Let's go. But when Herbert's even in the slightest bit of, I got to go somewhere with the football, he looks at his old friend Keenan. He knows he's open. And Ladd McConkey, his new friend, he knows he's open because McConkey cannot be covered. So I don't know if it means anything. I think we just got to mix him up. Hope that it's not McConkey because he's more expensive and he's going to be hard to afford on the slate.
It's the ownership is shocking to me a little bit. I would expect him to be much higher owned. That's the only thing giving me pause here is, man, I was hoping on Quentin Johnson. Man, I was hoping maybe we could get, go under the field here. But I don't know that we can. It's almost 18% is bizarrely low.
You got to go over the field on that. Remember, ownership is everything.
Yes, exactly.
So it matters more than all right. The lesson from yesterday. I just want everybody to allow this to seep into your mind. I'm going to do something off kilter for a second. Allow this to seep into your brain. In week 1, I'm just going to talk last week. If we go to week one, in a million years, you'd never play Aaron Rodgers ever at the Jets on the road, a 38-point gross, right? But that's what wins you $1 million. In week 2, I screamed it on Tournament Tactics. I said, you're going to give me, forget the Jared Goff example that we got on. Okay. Forget it. Even though if you're going to give me 2% on Jared Goff, that's crazy. Thank you very much. I'll take it. And I said the same thing about Bo Nix. What are you, nuts? Last week, he's the chalk. And this week, 1%. Why? Because he didn't work. Would you have dreamt in a million years that Russell Wilson would be the nuts quarterback? He was so low owned that he's not the nuts. Like, no one even did it. But that's how low owned Russell Wilson was. Like, you just got to play some stupid stacks, and not that it, or what was it? Embrace not what should happen, but what maybe has a slight possibility of happening. And we're going to do that here too. That's how you're going to win the 2-gamer. That's how you're going to win Millie Makers. That's how you're going to win in DFS.
I like it.
So, all right, let's take a look at ownerships, Bobbywow. So we're going to look at this slate from the context of the 2-game showdown. Now, you might be saying, Kev, there's a single game contest later, and it's a showdown and all of that. And I'm going to tell you right now, we have a cheat sheet for that here at DFS Army. You can check it out. And it's available for everybody who wants to attack that slate. We're all going to be there. But this 2-gamer starts earlier than that. And quite honestly, it's a rare treat. And I'm going to embrace the rare treat. There's single game slates happening all the time. I'm going to embrace the rare slate of the 2-gamer and suggest that everybody embrace it with us.
It's one of the better ones too, just because there's a good spread here. There's not like massive ownership.
No, it's hard to figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah, very hard to figure it out. So let's talk about, again, context, 2-game combo slate. And a couple of you are asking, I will do a live stream for DFS Army subscribers after this, where I just set up the optimizer and show you how to set up for 2-game slate. It's slightly different from what you would do on a single game. So that will happen. I don't want to bore, the YouTube public viewers about the optimizer that they don't have access to. So we'll just do that after. But for this, let's use the optimizer to study the ownerships. Oh, I just blew up the wrong screen. Study the ownerships here, and let's get into it. So right off the bat, quarterback group. Bobbywow, does this look off kilter to you? Most of it going to Justin Herbert. I get that.
I can get Herbert. I don't fully get Baker being so low. And look, I understand it's a tough matchup. I get the Texans are tough. Texans are at home. But Baker, maybe more than any of these quarterbacks, has gotten it done with his legs, in addition to his arm before. We've seen Baker run the football. We've seen him run for touchdowns. And we saw Baker kind of get on the same page as Egbuka last week too, which tells me, I don't know. He's easy to stack. He can run the football a little bit. His prop projection is, although slightly better than the other two above him, it's better. And I don't know. I will have more Baker than I will Geno. No doubt about that.
I feel like it's Stroud that's the guy I want to fade a little bit for Baker. It's Geno for you?
Not that I'm fading Geno. I think I'll have more Baker than Stroud as well. I'll have more Baker than both those guys.
Now, with that being said, Baker is the most expensive quarterback on the slate. And if we look at his actual props, so if we're just going on, if we're going just on who is the best play on a points per dollar basis as a quarterback, it's far and away Justin Herbert.
Yes.
Yeah. Justin Herbert props out and projects out. The projection and the prop are really different. And this is actually telling the tale to me a little bit. Like, look how high Geno's projection is relative to his prop projection. So
yeah,
this number kind of gives you like, let me put it this way, guys. This number gives you like what the crowd thinks the number should be. And this is what the correct number is that we have. Okay. So one of our little edges at DFS Army is we have this contrast that we can look at. And the biggest contrast is Geno, who is propping way worse than his projection would imply. So yeah, if you needed to go a little under on somebody, maybe it's Geno. But I kind of like the pass catchers connected to Geno. So I don't know.
What's infuriating about Geno is he's going to sling the ball. And so like he will put up points just because he is going to throw it. They're going to attempt 35 passes with Geno no matter what, which is just crazy. We saw it last year. He's on a new team, but same thing. He doesn't have to have like the best game to put up a solid fantasy score. That's what's infuriating about him.
Geno does not care. But I mean, so going through this group here, Justin Herbert far and away. Like if you were even thinking about doing like probably a cash lineup, I guess it has to be Justin Herbert just based on the better projection that he has compared to everybody else, which is interesting because before last week, remember that the Chargers were still being thought of as this team that was going to go run heavy. And now all of a sudden we're all like, no, they're a pass heavy, crazy offense. I don't know. Which one is it? Looks like pass heavy. Maybe it's all those good wide receivers. So they were like, you know what? We got Keenan Allen now. Quentin Johnston's coming into his own. We already love Ladd. Why not? Let's sling it. Change their mind.
Yeah. I don't know, Harbaugh's a good coach. They'll do what they need to do to win.
Yeah. Baker second. And then, of course, CJ Stroud has not had a quality. So convince me on CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud hasn't had a quality fantasy performance in maybe a year. It's been a very long time. Like
it's been a long time.
It's a long. You got to go through almost. We got to see a 2023 on the game log before we see like a 25er out of it.
And last week was certainly not the ideal convincing.
The classic. It convinced me it's the same guy from the year before.
I think there's one reason to play CJ Stroud, and that is Nico Collins. Nico Collins is such a freaking stud. He couldn't carry him last week. He hasn't been able to carry him in a long time now, but we've seen Nico Collins kind of propel CJ to some bigger games almost on his own back. So
the problem was he always had a Tank Dell, a second guy to help it along.
Sure, he did. Yeah, I don't think
fair. He can get there with just one.
I think that's fair.
And
clearly, the field is with you on that, and I think,
he's
understandably so.
He's owned too much, I think.
Baker a sub 20% is the most shocking thing on this list right here.
I think you take the Stroud and you place it onto Baker. You take some of this and you just increase the Baker, decrease the Stroud. That would be my
my rebuttal would be, what did you just get done? What lesson did you just get done?
Yeah, play every freaking turd. Class? You never know. Yeah, that's the other thing. And I remember, by the way, last year, interestingly, Mac Jones, it was 2 years ago, where we were in I feel like it was the playoff 3-gamer, and there were 6 quarterbacks, and the least sexy one was Mac Jones. And there were other names like Mahomes and Hurts on that slate, and Mac Jones outscored them all. Embrace what can be, unburdened.
I knew that was. I could have just put some money on that somehow.
I was waiting for that. All right, so
just because look at the list. Like Justin Herbert smashed last week. He's a good quarterback, but it's not like out of the realm of it's not the craziest thing by any means to think any one of these quarterbacks could be the highest scoring on this type of slate.
Yeah.
So don't fall too in love here, I think is what I would say.
Stingley Jr. probably on Evans. Igbuka will be out of the slot most likely.
And Evans can be better than that matchup. I know Evans dropped the turd in game 1 for the most part, but don't
Evans
fade
was
him.
Targeted a lot. He was targeted a lot for
Evans.
A guy who didn't do very much in the end. Hang on, let me get my my DraftKings over here so I can grab specify min exposure. For the most part, Jay Ramos, this means that you're using options that you shouldn't use and that you should be watching the Domination Station setup streams that I do rather than just trying to figure it out on your own. And then you will do much better. And if you don't want to deal with it live, go to the NFL Basic Training page on the DFS Army website. Or if not, stick around, go into the Discord. And when I post my live setup for this slate later, where you can watch along with me how I do it, consider doing something similar. Not the same settings, not the same exposures, but the same approach, because you don't need to specify a min exposure unless you're using correlative stacks, which you should not be using. Do not use this stacking option. So that's for specific people. Don't use it. It's too difficult for the average user to figure out. That's why we have these other stack types, and that's why we teach how to use this tool to everybody, so you won't have those issues.
I would just say stick around watch this second stream.
Yeah, watch the second stream. I'll show you, but also, yeah. Okay, Bobbywow. So quarterbacks, big group here. I don't know. I don't. Do you feel like you want to go well over the field? Do we just match the ownership on Herbert for this one? I'm definitely not going over the field.
I'm not going over the field either. I think I probably end up under the field on Herbert a little bit.
Yeah. And just kind of leveling these guys out, or I might go a little lower on CJ Stroud, but I'll still have some. As I said, I'm not going to not have some, right? So running back group here, this is where, again, we got to differentiate somewhere. It's a 2-game slate. And so you can't go all in on these guys. Can't go all in on these plays, but obviously you got Bucky Irving, spectacular, probably the best running back on the slate from a average fantasy points per game perspective, but
brutal
matchup in the sense that he's on the road. Is he an underdog? Yes, slight underdog facing a really good the thing that the Texans have been good at the last couple of years is defense.
Yes.
Last week I made a you sound sick, Bobbywow. You got
I am. That's where I was. I was coming back from the yeah.
Oh, brutal. You got the old Chicago two sniff going on over there. The old you caught the Chi-Town wind.
Two sniff.
Everybody walking around Chicago this is the same expression on them because everybody's sick over there. It's so freaking cold outside. But it's not that time of year. You shouldn't be getting sick in September. What are you doing? Save that for the winter.
Get it over with. Get it over with now.
Ashton Janty, 60% owned. Bucky Irving, 63%. Made Omarion cheaper, 60%. Same ownership. Obviously we have differences here in the projection. Nick Chubb, no prop. Why? Don't know. I don't know. Why the fuck don't they have a prop for Nick Chubb? Is there some mystery as far as like somebody else coming in? Are they still thinking that Mixon is going to come off the something's going on here? What the hell's the problem?
No, it's not Mixon. It's
not named the starter yet. Think Dameon Pierce is going to get the role. I don't get it.
I think Nick Chubb is a fine play. I do.
Yeah, Nick Chubb, he's playable, right?
He's playable. The mystery is part of why he's so low owned. Because it just does feel a little mysterious still.
When I ran the optimizer and jacked down the ownership, the player that it wants to put in all my lineups is Nick Chubb because of his relative lower ownership compared to the 60% guys. So it would just pluck him. When you really are aggressive about capping ownership, that's one of the guys that starts showing up in all your lineups.
Yeah, I get that. Can I ask you a question here? If you had to pick a running back below Nick Chubb that you were going to mix in a little bit, who would be the running back you would choose first?
It's probably Dare.
Okay. I think that's the other part of it as well. Is of all the guys that are going to mix in here, we could see Dare maybe more than any other running back.
Yeah. Dare was on the game last week. Nick Chubb can't catch a pass, so Dare's in the game, and if they it's Dare's in the game, so that'll be better than nothing at 4K, right? If these other running backs all fail, Mega Royal just nailed something so funny that I have to laugh out loud. Can you see this, Bobby? Got to get that.
That's fantastic. That's good stuff right there.
Shyvid, you guys are on your game.
Shyvid, oh my gosh.
Jay Ramos right after this, so I might have to eat in between. So figure like I don't know, figure like 1:30, maybe 2ish. We'll go live with that.
Jeez.
Depends on the timing of this. But we got Dare. So I don't mind it for I like him better than Rachaad White. Weirdly, Rachaad White gets in the game 25%, so we got a 75-25. But I don't know. I like the savings on Dare.
Dare's fine. Rachaad White would be the other guy I would go with. Again, on DraftKings in particular, all it takes is 4 or 5 catches, and Rachaad White is all of a sudden like flirting with the nuts.
Yeah.
So
let's jump over to these wide receivers. So just looking at the props, the projections, all the numbers, and especially the ownerships, and look how close together it is in the stud or in this area here, the top value guys. Evans, Myers, McConkey. I'm going to include Mbuga in that too, in my mind, but do you, right? So top values. Actually, the number one, if I sort by fantasy points per dollar, it's Myers, Keenan Allen.
Why there's no player disrespected by DraftKings pricing more than Jacoby Myers? Like forever. He's perpetually underpriced. I think once again here, way underpriced.
Jacoby Myers,
it's insane.
At this salary, at with a prop of 14.3, 0.4, a projection at 15. His numbers, are you ready for this? His projection and his props are above Mike Evans this week, who is priced $2,000 above him. And Mike Evans is just as owned. Is Myers a 100% guy? I don't think you could do that on a 2-game slate. I don't even know that you could get that much leverage.
Sometimes you have to on these 2-gamers. This is not a 2-gamer where you have to do something like that. Like people asked about quarterbacks. Should we be picking 2 quarterbacks only? That's an option, but this slate, you don't have to. Even to take the Millie down, you don't have to take that type of stand. I think the tight end position is where you want to get silly, and that could mean double tight end. That could also mean playing someone not named Brock Bowers as your only tight end. To me, that is the spot where you can get silly and not have to take other crazy stands like Myers at 100%, or I'm only playing 1 quarterback. I don't know. That's the way I see it.
Even at a brief glance, by the way, the more you can operate, and we're going to need some of this up top here, but I've got this sorted by fantasy points per dollar. And so when you get to this second section of lower owned guys right here, see the highlighted names, Emeka, Quentin Johnston, Sterling Shepard, even Dante Thornton a little bit, maybe even Jaden Higgins. I'll include that as well. I'll go all the way down, even to Hutchinson. I'll go all the way through this entire group right here. From Trey Tucker down.
Look at Trey Tucker.
Yeah.
He's 7% owned. He's the WR2. I'm not saying I'm in love with him. He's not like a smash play, but that is the type of guy you can get serious leverage on at 25%, who's going to be on the field every snap. And he's the WR2 for that team.
If Geno's having a big game, it's probably not exclusively because of, probably the problem is Bowers is really the WR1, and you got Myers kind of functioning as the second. And then Trey Tucker's more of the third option. But that's enough at 3,200.
He's on the field every snap, I think,
Yeah. And he's a speedster. He's a guy who he could take 1 target to the house. Yeah, deep ball guy, and that's what we want. That's the Tyquan Thornton that we gave you yesterday. Only takes 1 or 2 receptions, and you're good to go.
Yeah, great call on that, by the way.
Yeah. Jay, you'll be able to bother me, of course. I'll answer questions, but you'll also be able to watch in the replay. It's going to live for the whole rest of the day. You do not ever have to be in any of my streams live. They are still there, even when it's over. And this one will be a quick 20-minute one just to set up the optimizer. I've already done it.
People in the Discord will help too.
Yeah.
If you want to throw messages in there, that works.
So yeah, I think the winner of this tournament will be living in this zone, at least for 1 wide receiver and maybe 2. It's when it's 2 that's when it gets really cute. Let's jump to the tight ends. Since Bobbywow, you identified this area. You know what's weird about tight end this week? Dalton Schultz is getting really good props for some reason. He kind of stinks. I don't ever remember Dalton Schultz having a good game.
He doesn't stink. It's just he's not a ceiling, tight end type of guy. He's not a Bowers where he's got, his legs aren't a huge weapon.
Has he ever had a good game?
Here's the thing about Schultz. He's going to get targets. Dalton Schultz, I think here's what shocked me about Schultz is right now on DraftKings, he's 4+ catches for -150. Okay. That's a pretty significant number, right? The sportsbooks are saying he is going to, in all likelihood, more likely than not, catch 4 passes. At least.
You see it in his prop. This guy is cheaper than Cade Otton by quite a bit. And his prop is crazy higher. He's at 9.1. Where did that come from? I don't even think he's ever put up a 9. And yet, I really don't. Has he ever even gotten a 9 in a game? I don't know.
Yes.
Years ago. And then, I remember there was a minute when Dalton Schultz was wasn't he on the Cowboys?
Cowboys.
He was good on the Cowboys. I'll give him that. But then,
put him at 9. Come on.
I'm serious. I can't remember the last time he was relevant. It was years ago. But Cade Otton, more expensive with the 7. Doesn't mean I'm not going to play Cade Otton, by the way. We've also seen Cade Otton put up a 20+ pointer.
He had a couple 14s, 15s, Schultz at the end of last season.
Oh, did he? All right. So he's had a couple of acceptable games. By the way, that's nuts galore. If he's anywhere in the double digits, you're already yep, we got it. That's the nut.
and maybe even more than it, says play him instead of Bowers. It's that double tight end thing that you talked about. He is certainly in play. Like, it is not crazy out of the realm of possibility that he could do it in that flex spot.
Ed Law Cards just joined this weekend, already cashing NFL, college football, soccer. Welcome to the team, Ed Law Cards.
That's awesome.
I assume it's Ed from Los Angeles, who also enjoys card breaking.
I would normally tell you not to assume, but with these names, you're so good. You're spot on with these guys.
I'm just going for it. I make predictions. I figure out where you're from, what country of origin. Tamar says Houston hasn't even scored a touchdown yet. That's fair.
It's been one game.
Yeah.
But that is true.
Yeah. Tight end group. So if we have to pick from these guys, I feel like Disley's getting more ownership than Tyler Conklin.
Barely. That's negligible.
Yeah. Squeeze in some Michael Mayer. Kate on. Now you just got to mix them up, right?
Maybe the craziest, if you want to take the craziest stand, and I'm not recommending this.
Fade Bowers and just play Mayer.
I mean, that is maybe even crazier than what I'm going to suggest. I was going to suggest locking in 50+% of tight end in the flex. Like, in the dominate, set tight end as at least 50, if not more, in the flex.
I'm going to allow at least 50%. So allowing, yes. Am I forcing it? I'm not going to force it, but I'm going to allow it. It will naturally pluck the tight ends for that spot. Just know it will naturally pluck through them. They're always projected better than anything else. Jay Ramos, what you're watching here is the DFS Army YouTube channel. You should be in the DFS Army Discord if you're a subscriber. So if you're not, you need to go to DFS Army, click up top here on your account, wherever that is, and there's a little thing that will get you under settings, and there's a Discord one, connections, I think it is, and we want to get our Discord connected so that you can see what we have going on here. Oh, I just messed up my whole screen. That was risky. So there we go. Now,
a little risky and risque.
Yeah, a little risque and a little risky. You never know what you're going to see when you start clicking around on the computer. Public stream, what might pop up. All right, so you never know. All right, so where were we? Tight end defense for this one. Defense. So
maybe
now,
the most important part of your domination station setup.
It is very important. So real quick, just understand that this is a 2-game slate, and if you use an optimizer, a lot of optimizers, including I don't know what other optimizers do. I assume they do something like this, but the domination station, if you don't tell it to allow you to run players versus your defense, it will not. So whatever defense is chosen, it's not going to take any players from the opposing team. That is not a good setting for 2-game slates. So you want to adjust that. If I'm using the domination station, this setting right here, I will adjust that. Maximum 2, maximum 3, maximum 4. I usually go 3 players versus defense on these slates. What I want to do is effectively make the defense irrelevant. There is a chance that we play out this entire slate and all 4 of these defenses all score like a 5 or a 4 or a 3. Yep. If that wasn't going to happen, Bobbywow, which would be your favorite defenses to mess with? Let's say, which do you think will actually do the best? And clearly the field doesn't know because they're slapping 30% on Texans, Bucs, and Chargers evenly.
I think it's probably the Texans for me. The Texans have a actual good defense, and Baker Mayfield has been known to turn the ball over in the past. So if there was a guy that was going to throw like a pick 6 or a fumble 6 or something along those lines, probably would be Baker of those guys.
Yeah.
Chargers, I think, are up there for me. But it's hard for my brain to wrap around this concept of players being in the lineup. That is so important. And maybe the best way I could put it for my simple brain is it's happened in the past plenty of times on a 2-game slate where a team has scored the highest number of points, but the defense they were against were in the nuts. Okay. So like it truly does not matter all that much.
We've seen in showdowns too. I
Yes.
think 20% of the time in a showdown, the defense is in there against the captain, the captain, the guy that you think is going to be the best, and the opposing defense. There's a 20% metric on it. It's just too common. I saw a Jets game once where the Jets got destroyed by the Patriots, but somehow they also scored 21 points on defense just because of how that game played out. So the greater point was that as we've studied defensive correlation with offensive players, the negative correlation is not that big. It's slight enough that in a 2-game slate, it doesn't even matter that much. Like on a whole main slate, when there's 14 games to choose from, that becomes a different story. And I don't necessarily need players versus my defense there. If a defense is smashing, maybe I don't want players against them. But on a 2-gamer, it's much less relevant. Top 10 highlights, $4.99. Oh, there we go. A little random question. Favorite single entry. If you watch Players Club, you will know this. I want to be in the 10x multiplier, regardless of how many entries, and then in the 40x multipliers. Those are my favorite contests. 25x multipliers. I prefer the multipliers. If we're talking about like an actual contest, it's like an $88 contest. I don't remember the name of it. That has like 300 entries, $150 one that has like 500-600 entries. I like to be in that range. I like to be in the smaller tournaments, single entry, but most importantly, build my entire strategy for the week around 40x and 10x multipliers. That's where we make the most money. All right, Bobbywow. Let's jump over. We've kind of talked through the slate. Did you say that the Texans or the Bucs?
Texans, I think, are the most Texans. But again, I will have virtually an even spread here.
Yeah, I don't even mind the Raiders just for the cheapness of them.
Yeah, I don't. I will have close to 25% of all 4.
I didn't allow it. See, I was doing my run yesterday, and I kind of set a cap of 18%. The problem was I will say this, when you powerfully nerf total P owned, the first thing it wants to do, and the primary thing it wants to do, is just save ownership by going with that defense. Yep. So
I get that.
I had to work it because all of a sudden it was like, bam, all Raiders. I'm like, I don't want that. I don't actually think the Raiders will be good defensively in this game.
When you have Max Crosby on the field, you always have a chance.
Yeah. All right, let's build up a quick lineup here, Bobbywow. I don't know that there's more that we can do. We kind of covered the slate. If we're playing, so how am I going to build lineups today? The chalkiest approach. Let's say you start with Herbert.
Okay.
I'm always going to, these kind of quarterbacks must be stacked with at least one. I think there's merit to using the sim boost, which we'll do on our domination station runs. There's some merit to that, to maybe getting that second guy in there. The second guy does not need to be like a big time name. If it's let's say Baker and it's a Booga for one, and you might go Sterling Shepard for the second one. Get a little weird with the second one. Get unique with it.
My caution would be yesterday, okay, on a full slate, which I guess, maybe less chance. Like if you were to go Jared Goff +2, you probably lose. You could, because Goff threw what? He threw a touchdown to Brock Wright. He threw a touchdown
took one away.
Gibbs, but then he threw 3 to AS. So like that would be my only caution. On a 2-game slate, it's more likely, that a second one does sneak in there, but I'm not going to be forcing a second one.
The other mild benefit to building around the games, and this is why I think the sim boost will be important. We saw a stink bomb of a game last night, right? Where all the players kind of sucked for fantasy purposes. Eventually, one or two of them got there, and had a decent score, but overall that game was a turd. And sometimes with the 2-game slates, if one game is a turd and the other game is exciting and upbeat, then if you build game stacks, at least I'll have some that avoid the turds in that other game. So
I like boosting. I love that. Yeah, I think that boost is important. I agree with you 100%.
And hopefully with the boost, it will give us like that nice mix of some game stacks, but also some like both games kind of go similar stacks. It's all about building for narratives. But sometimes the narrative on one of these slates is like one game is a complete stink bomb and the other one's awesome. And then, wow, I wish I would have just game stacked this one like crazy. And then other times, both games are mid. Game stacking doesn't work, and you just have to pluck the best players from all around. So I wish there was a consistency to it. There's not, but I think you can build for all different things. So let's say we start a lineup with Herbert. I think wide receivers wise, the highest value guy is going to be Keenan Allen, but the most leverage you can get is with Quentin Johnston. Quentin Johnston also feels like donkey chasing last week.
It would feel more that way if he was higher owned. Because he's so low owned, it's not as much.
Yeah, but yeah, the flip side is he's not as high owned. So can go right back to Quentin. Of course, I do have Quentin Johnston in a league where I need some points out of him to win it. So and that makes me feel like he's going to get a 0.
You can hedge. If he scores your points and wins the league, great. Maybe you have less here. Look, he caught 5 passes. 2 of them were touchdowns. That's probably not a sustainable pace. But
I think Keenan Allen's a better play than Quentin Johnston straight off, from a floor perspective.
It's just ownership, the ownership thing for me. And don't Ladd McConkey too. Don't count Ladd out. Like that guy is going to beast mode. Keenan Allen's not going to destroy him forever. I
think Jacoby Myers has to be in any kind of handcraft that you're probably doing. At least the initial handcraft he's in there. I love Emeka Egbuka. He's just my spirit animal at this point. Like me and Emeka go together like me and Egbuka go together like babies and pacifiers.
I mean, you got to plug them in then. You got to plug them in.
Just saying. Me and Emeka. I'll work on that line.
Okay.
It's not perfected yet.
It's getting there. You're going to throw Brock in there, right?
Brock, yeah, and it's important to understand every single lineup that you build is like, I don't know, Brock lineup. Look what happens when you put Brock in, Bobbywow. So throw in a defense. I just want to show you this. This will give the general idea of how shit is coming together today.
And you went cheap. It's not like you went Ladd.
No.
Like you got Keenan Allen in there.
No, I didn't play any of the high-priced wide receiver. Why? Because you're going to want some of the running backs in there who are good. And that's where it's... Wait, I'm missing players on this. What is going on here?
Where's your Tampa Bay game? Are you in a showdown right now?
No. Am I tripping? Wait, did I do something here? Oh, there he is. Okay, Bucky. Yeah, there we go. So you're going to want some stud running backs in your lineup, right? Like Janty or Bucky. You got to play these guys. So if I play both of the good running backs, I'm left with 5,100. Now at 5,100, there's not a whole lot going on here. So I'm in what I call the bad place, right? This is not a good spot. I can go down from Texans defense, super punt it, and I can get up to Quentin Johnston and call it a day. Which is a very interesting looking lineup with Herbert, Keenan Allen,
double
Quentin
stack.
Johnston.
Yeah.
Full stack. You got to play Raiders defense against your quarterback and everything. I don't like that part of it.
I don't love it.
But at least it's something interesting. And by the way, this is like a massive. So what else could you do? Look at what it looks like without Bowers. Now, or even better, if we put Bowers in there still, but now we punt with a tight end in the flex, like Schultz. Okay. Now you got 2,300 to work with.
Now you can change your defense.
Yeah, we change out our defense. I don't know, put in the Texans. Fine. 1,900 left. So now this gives me the power.
Keenan Allen, upgrade Keenan.
Yeah, it gives you the power to go. Oh man, it didn't get there. We got to go back to Keenan. I actually think.
Or you could go. You could upgrade to Ladd.
We could probably do Myers to Ladd, but then I would have too much of that one game, so that wouldn't work. You don't want Allen, McConkey, and Quentin.
Keenan Allen to Myers.
If I can get a Booga in here, and then we got to get off
Keenan Allen to Myers.
Then you go down to Bucs.
That works.
Make it work.
Yeah, that works.
This would work for me as a double tight end approach. I really liked it. I'm going to use this lineup, by the way. I really like the way it came together. Yeah, but
you have no.
If you look at the only thing missing here, this gives up. This gives up on. You don't have Myers in here, who's the highest projected guy. but he's awesome. Yeah, Mayfield build. What would a Mayfield build look like? He's obviously more expensive. You got to get a Booga in there with Mayfield. I would certainly prefer Mike Evans to McConkey in a Mayfield build.
Of all the double stacked lineups, Mayfield will have the most for me. Like I think Evans and Egbuka, I like that a lot.
Yeah. And with Mayfield, by the way, what you do is you can also nerf Bucky Irving in that lineup, saying, hey, if Mayfield's throwing a lot, Bucky might not do that much. As much as I love Bucky, you can't really afford Bucky and Mike Evans together. So here I might do this. And then in the flex spot now, because I added 1,000, if I've got him, I'll go back to like Raiders or some cheap defense. And at least here now I have some other options for the flex that I didn't have in play before. Nothing great. Nothing great.
This is why double tight end happens so much, because look at this. Look at the options above. These are disgusting.
You're like, I think it might be better just to play one of these guys. So
Schultz or Otten, yeah.
Or you get extra crazy. You fade Brock Bowers. He gets hurt. You put in Mayer. The Bowers gets hurt lineup. Bam. Throw some Nico at the end. Silly for the Millie. Take it all down, Bobbywow. That's the one.
I love that. I really like that lineup right there. That might take it down.
Like if Nico, if Bowers gets hurt.
That might take it down. That might take it down.
Bowers gets hurt. I wish I could get a better defense here, but I don't care. I'm in. Bobbywow said it could win. Doing it.
We'll split seize that one.
Yeah, that was double crafted here. If it wins the million, half to Bobby. I'll give you the tithe.
That's good. The two sniffs.
Yeah. Oh, got to get the tissues. Get the tissues.
That's so funny.
Oh
so
man,
good.
Got to get the tissues. Get the tissues. Put this back on screen, guys. That's going to do it for a showdown breakdown. Bobbywow, look at this. Ask me what my favorite tournament is. It's the Super Booster, where I can turn $27 into 1,000, and the rare occasion when you do it twice.
Hold on, you won a Pocket Cup ticket?
I won 2 Pocket Cup tickets.
Come on,
Remember I told
man!
you that stupid contest that cost a penny? I won $2,000
we talked about it at length.
doing that, Bobbywow. Where were you? I saw you in there.
You won to? Oh, I was in one. I was in a couple of them. I got smoked.
I saw you up there. I was like, oh, there's Bobbywow. I won two tickets.
We entered together. It was like a frenzies. It was like a little It was a fun little party together.
I got
That's
2
awesome.
tickets.
You won 2,000, but you could win more now. Like that. Those contests are so fun.
There's never going to be a time where I see $1.50 in total to enter 150, and there's some big thing at the end of it that I'm not going to max that out. That was the best find. That was, by the way, guys, the reason Bobbywow's reacting, didn't see this. Me and Bobbywow, I was just like scrolling DraftKings, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? What's this penny game? And I was like, I'm reserving it.
That's so cool, man. I didn't know you won, let alone two.
2 tickets.
Oh, that's cool.
And
It looks like Mo won 3 tickets. That's awesome, man.
Upper's Lad got one too. Yeah, it was crazy. Mo Fowl got 3 tickets. Like, we just mentioned this.
Let's go, Mo.
By the way, every one of those tickets, that score was almost a Millie Maker takedown in its own. Like, it was about, I don't know what won the Millie Maker, but I guarantee you it wasn't that different.
Plus. It was 250. Yeah.
Was it? I don't know what this top score was. I can look. You want to see? Look at all that money in my account. I do want to see. Look at all that money in my account, Bobby. Wow. I started the season with $6,000 up to 20K.
You got to cash out those crowns.
No, I'm saving them up. Let's see hang on. I'm going to bring it up. I'm actually curious what the score was. Yeah, so we got all these super boosters. Bam, beautiful. Beautiful super booster. Oh, it doesn't bring it up here because it's a ticket. Damn. I'm going to have to look for it. Hang on. What's it called? The Pocket?
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to show me the one I won again because here it is. Yeah, here's a win. Oh, you go by place.
No, it wasn't quite up there.
It goes by place. So yeah, 233 in the big one.
233. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what won the Millie Maker. This was my best pocket max. Of course, it's a Goff, Amon Ra, Roma Dunze because we
talked about that so much. Oh.
Yeah, and on Tournament Tactics. And then what else did I say on Tournament Tactics about Cook? I said this guy is guaranteed to score a touchdown in this game, at least one, and he's unknown.
That was the call right there. It wasn't necessarily the Rome or the
No, we already knew. But we pulled this out, and then I just paired it up with Puka, who I just love all the time. That was it. It's just like, oh, everything that Kevin said to do. And the one that actually was scaring me, this was the one that just was plucked out of the wilderness. Williams as the second piece with Goff, by the way. And you said Goff only one? No. J-Mo Williams.
Yeah, you're right.
This is
I forgot about J-Mo.
Bobbywow, I forced the double stack. I did not just use the sim boost. I forced it.
Hey, you were right this time. I tipped my cap.
Yeah. Tebow, where do you find that? It's on DraftKings. You sort by size.
It may not be up yet, because.
You know what? Let me check. Let me see. Hold on.
We're not even done with week 2 yet.
I don't even like that I'm sharing this with people publicly because I need to get my entries reserved. Now I need like a lot of things for the pot. It's not open yet. All right. So I don't think it's here yet. It sounds like maybe they drop those later in the week. I don't know. But what I would suggest is when you see them, reserve them real quick. And
yeah,
I'm going to reserve the shit out of those. Are you kidding me? All right, guys, a lot of goodness we covered here. So for DFS Army subscribers, I will go live right after this and do a quick Domination Station setup explanation for you guys. If you're not a DFS Army subscriber and you want to come and be part of the team, be part of the community, have the tools, all that good stuff, go sign up now. Promo code Geek. I got a special code for everybody. Get you 10% off whatever you do at DFS Army. When any of the plans special, celebrating the Geeks' big win this weekend. That's right. Followed up week 1 with another big week 2. Yes, the link to the stream will be exclusively in the DFS Army Discord. You cannot see it publicly. It's inside the Discord. That is behind the paywall stream. Again, not because I'm thumbing my eye at our public audience here. Love you all. Appreciate you. Like, subscribe, notification bell. We want you to do that. But you don't care about how to set up the optimizer, so I'm not going to do that in a public forum because it's boring if you don't have access to that tool. Bobbywow, any last-minute turds for the slate or like knowledge nuggets?
No, it just feels like that tight end spot, that's where the money's going to be made, not making a crazy stand somewhere else.
What did you think about my crazy ass? What if it's fade Bowers for Michael Mayer?
What if we accounted for that in the lineup you submitted, did we not?
Yeah, I guess it's in there. So we'll take the million if that works out.
All right.
If Pete Carroll was lying and last second, what do you do, Bobbywow, if last second they're like, Brock Bowers not going to play?
That's not going to happen. But I think what we're not accounting for here is that Brock Bowers just has an okay game. He plays, but has an okay game.
Well, I think we are in the sense that you cannot go all in on Bowers. Like his projected ownership of 65%, that's like about as much as you're going to do. Like you really should not be higher than that on any.
No.
Another thing I learned in back testing for 2-game slates, I'll share that here, is that there's virtually never a time when you want to be over 55, 60% on anybody for any reason, even if it's Christian McCaffrey and they're going up against the worst team in the league. It doesn't matter. Never. You're better off with the fades and hoping that the 1% scenario like that fade works out than going all in on a Bowers. Going all in on Bowers is not going to help you win this contest at all. It's not going to help. It's certainly not. It won't hurt if he does well. But like if you had 100% Bowers versus 70% and he scores a touchdown, your currently winning number on your DraftKings screen or your FanDuel screen doesn't even change. It's still exactly where it was before he scored that touchdown. That's how you need to understand the leverage of ownership. If I have Trey Tucker and he catches a big touchdown and I've got 20% in the fields on him at 5%, my currently winning is going to explode. You know what would have helped my currently winning explode yesterday, Bobbywow? If if Hollywood Brown would have done a little more. Very disappointing core play, Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
That whole game was pretty disappointing.
Disappointing for Mahomes, disappointing for Kelsey, disappointing. Yeah, that game stunk.
Yeah. But guys, we got this. Let's see those helmets on top for a second one. I did a FanDuel and DraftKings. I did it all. I got entries reserved. I'm feeling on top. I'm feeling confidence after weeks 1 and 2.
I can see that. You got the swagger to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a little energy burst for Players Club. I'm telling you, it was a 3-hour Players Club, Bobby. Wow, it's crazy. I was like, guys, I can't believe you're still here with me. I don't even know what I'm doing here, but I went
it's like
on
when you're driving and all of a sudden you look up and you're at your destination. You're like, wait a second, how did I get here?
I went on a 1 hour like rant about something or another at the beginning of, in a positive way, like DFS stuff, but like at the beginning of that, and I was like, holy shit, we're an hour in and I haven't broken down the play yet. What am I doing here? I don't know where it came from.
Tis the season, man.
It's early season.
The most wonderful time of the year. Yeah.
Bobbywow, by November, late November, early December, I got a beard. My face is sallow. I haven't slept in weeks.
You're drooping.
Yeah. But early season is a lot of energy. So let's keep it up. I haven't hung out for the whole time. I was like, Dad Games was there too. Yeah, it was crazy. Hopefully everybody had a good time. And let's have a good time tonight by taking down this 2-gamer. A rare treat is a 2-game. What prime time? The prime time is what I like to call it. A 2-game prime timer. Remember, it was only prime times for Sunday and Monday. There's no such thing as a showdown. I love the prime time. I preferred it to the showdowns. We do the showdown breakdown, but I prefer the prime time. How fucked up is that?
Only because it's a mix. Only if it was only prime time and maybe a showdown here and there, we might prefer the showdown. So
maybe that's what it is. You're probably right.
Keeping it real, keeping it mixed up and fun.
Yeah, probably right. And one last thing, the fact that if the Millie was pushing 270 and I was able to take down those pockets, which by the way, that score is insane.
That's true. That is true, by the way.
Wilson. But the fact that we're able to take down those pocket ones for a smaller amount is a reminder that even when you're mass multi-entering, there's a difference between 1 million entries and 30,000 entries.
Yeah.
Let's stick to the ones that are more winnable as much as possible. Mega Royal went lunch and went fishing.
Oh, that's awesome.
And got back in. Players Club was still happening. He was frying up a lake bass.
Hit a fresh walleye. Yeah. Oh, man, I could do
guys, for DFS Army subscribers, give me about 25 to 30 minutes or so, maybe less. In the DFS Army Discord, I will be dropping a link to a quick live stream, no more than 15, 20 minutes, where I show you how I set up the optimizer for the slate. So I need to eat something. So 15, 20 minutes or so, we'll be back. Bobby Wow, thank you for this. Reminder, DraftKings First Look, FanDuel First Look here on Tuesdays here on the DFS YouTube channel. Wednesday night, we will have the Thursday Showdown breakdown. Me and Bobby Wow back together. It's a nonstop party. And of course, on Friday, tournament tactics with the whole crew. Good luck, everybody. Good luck tonight. Helmets up. We'll see you next time. Deuces.